okay. I'm not a big fan of that because I feel that the Indian jungle doesn't.
Actually, is holding on to the Kaja, no?
Okay. Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know what's going on right now. I've seen Fredrin mids before. It actually kind of works. But hey, RSGP SG and RSGPH, these sister organization, I think they're up to something, my dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like what we said right before the show started, we're just gonna come. Yeah, not too sure about that though. I mean,
oh no,
I don't see
oh
that.
no,
very
it's gonna be
often.
Diablo. Okay, so it's going to be Diablo going back into the Edith and then Breakjoy. Okay, now we're on the right track.
Okay, then this makes sense. All right, so we're gonna see for the first time, at least in competitive scene, that Diablo is going to play the Edith, and I think that's going to be a pretty straightforward role for him because it's going to be pretty similar like how a Badang plays. Be together with your team, try to open up some fights, and well, he's the Edith, so he can still take a decent amount of damage.
Yeah, there you go. Aqua and Nates being a little bit cheeky right there, but Diablo will spot him out right there, knock him all the way out. Bougie letting down a lot of damage. There's a lot of damage coming off of the Boy Crystal. I wasn't expecting that.
Wow, that's a very early game aggression there. But on top, so we have Oki and Iman 1v1. This should be Iman advantage because Iman can really spam those abilities onto Oki. So now Oki will be pushed back. But look at who's behind him. A Fedrin. Demon Kite is there. They can sandwich him.
Yeah, Demon Kite right here. It's not a Kaja jungler that I was talking about. I think the graphics right there is a little bit wonky, but hold on a second. Demon Kite lands a taunt onto Oki. Oki's only level 2. He has to run for the heals. And Lucian Cutie coming in just in time to support, but Light is already there just in case if RSGSG wants to counteract. But that is a big problem over the side of Oki because he's now denied away from the farm. And not only just that, Iman has full lane control.
Yeah, at the same time, at the bottom, looks like we might see our first split, but nah, it's a Uranus at the end of the day. So it's not that easy for them to just dish out the dash. Plus, Bray and Diablo, at this point of the game, they still don't have that amount of damage to burst out, especially when you're dealing with Uranus.
I think right here, RGSG should just ignore the Uranus, right, bud? And then right now, with the first turtle already spawned, Demon Kite already at the turtle pit right there, has a turtle priority. Diablo has his hands full, handling Nets and also Aqua at the same time. Now, because of that rotation, they could rotate easily over to the turtle, but it got reset to just a little bit. However, RGSG, they're looking elsewhere. They're looking at top.
Oh, okay. It's going to be a 3v2, but I don't think they're going for the jump. I think they're kind of buying time right now for Bray because Bray is doing his thing inside of RGPH's jungle just to distract them a bit. But now they do know that he's there. But at the same time, the turtle is not challenged at all by RSGSG.
Oh, yeah, I saw the screen. You thought that you said that Bray wanted to do something elsewhere on the map, right? He missed the turtle. He tried to counter the jungle, but he lost that fight. He wasn't able to assassinate Eman, and Eman gets to walk free, giving the kill over to this carry that scaled tremendously against Diablo, which is going to be very tanky. Lucian Kitty is also going to be tanky as well. So RGPH right now has a solid lead in the gold lane, and because of that, after taking the turtle, they rotate over and they know Bray is not there. Light's already starting out. Purple buff already stolen by Demon Kite.
Oh, and look at the bottom lane as well. Look at what's happening there. 2 onto Nats. They're taking a lot of time. They're using a lot of resources. And Nats is just doing what Uranus does, just cutting off waves, and there's almost nothing that RSGSG can do at this point.
You know what, Cloud? If I play a ranking with a Uranus, and the Uranus is actually just staying in his own lane, he's out of position. That's being in the enemy territory is a Uranus in position, and that's exactly what RSGPH wants to do. See, starts cutting the waves, creating a lot of pressure down bot, and all of a sudden maybe they could just also choke out the mid. If he starts taking 2 lanes, mid lane, Aqua hold on a second, mid lane, Light, Drax Bougie, that's gonna be another kill, given over the side of RSGPH. Aqua picks up the clock, he's gonna scale.
I mean, pretty straightforward, right? Like you flicker in, and then you pull one out. Wow, and he had his teammates together with him, so it was all part of the plan for RSGPH. Wow, just again, look at the position of Nats. What are you going to do about this? It's to the point that RSGSG just totally ignores it.
Yeah, RSGSG couldn't do anything. They know that Nats know that he doesn't really RSGSG doesn't really have the damage to deal with him, right? Like Oki is struggling in lane. Nats just immediately cuts 2 lanes, and this also, like I said, free ups Aqua, and now because of that, RSGP's rotation is going to mess up RSGSG's rough right now with the second turtle already up. Demon Kite once again being on duty right here. If you look at the position of Bray, I don't think he's in ready position. But Lucian QT jumping onto will be able to find Nets right there. Diablo a little bit of spot of trouble. Aqua and Light trailing in just a little bit. Ionic Edge slowing down Diablo. Diablo needs to trigger the ultimate right here right now. If not, he's gonna get busted down. But look at that, the Demon Kite working on the turtle. Lucian QT jumping a little bit low. Bray trying to look for the assassination, but he gets suppressed by Light instead. He gets dragged away, but unfortunately, Bray still walks away with the turtle.
Well, somehow Bray still managed to do it, but now everyone's onto Nets, but it's not target that they would want. Now, the only thing that they can do to try to counter Nets is that maybe fight fire with fire, like Joy has the same ability of cutting waves as well. So if he's doing that on their own lane, well, might as well Joy. If we reach that power spike, just go and cut the same wave, and they just neutralize each other.
But Cloudy, I don't think the Joy enjoys cutting wave, especially this is a Joy jungle, right? Diablo as this Edith is not a very good hero to cut the wave. So that's why RSGPH is just throwing all these questions over to RSG, and RSGSG doesn't really have to answer. Immediately you see bottom lane already cracked open. Diablo hungry for the farm and already a quarter HP. RSG needs to reinforce down that bottom lane. Lucian QT jumping on top of Nets right here. He's just got a love in concentration. Oh, he's already gone right now, but he's getting us up in the air. Buji and Diablo doesn't really have the damage to deal with Nets.
Look at this. Nets pulled 3 players from RSG to him. Can you imagine how much space that opens up for the rest of RSGPH? Like, they can just do anything they want up there, and Bray can just be all alone.
Yeah, while we're focusing a lot on down bottom lane, Iman has already secured the shoulder side, so that is a item power spike for the side of RSGPH. Demon Kai, on the other hand, doesn't really need to play, just doesn't need to gank at all because Nets is taking so much space down bot, right? And now because of that, you know, RSGSG has a weak EXP lane, RSGPH controls top side instead.
Alright, looks like action's happening here with the real world manipulation on.
Real world manipulation on. Nets will be able to find Buji. Buji has to run for the hills right here. Lucian QT a little bit low. Cannot kite or peel for the team. Diablo, the first casualty for that team fight right here. Oki doesn't really have the damage right here. RSGPH takes down top as well instead. Light doesn't really have the divine judgment. Oki step forward, but not in time to defend against this RSGPH siege.
Yeah, and with that kill onto Diablo, they're opening up more space for them to get the turtle. But Bray could be the next one to go down, just like that. Oki goes in with a blazing duet, but not enough damage at this point, especially with Nats being the tank at the front.
Look at Nets, he doesn't really care. Oki is basically tickling him, and every single basic attack you do onto Nets is actually healing. He's actually just gonna pop the concentration and just start running for the kills, right? But hold on a second, he gets immobilized right there. That's A-okay. But on the other side of the map, RSGPH is just raiding RSGSG bases one by one. Each turret goes down.
Yeah, they're just choking RSGSG down right now. The moment RGSG steps into the jungle, everything is gone. RGPH, they have total control at this point. And now they're doing the opposite of before. Nats is now fully focused on the top lane. And the rest of RGPH focusing onto the bottom lane. They will just take the turrets down one by one that way.
This is an empty forest. RGPH just literally deforested RSGSG right there, right? There's nothing for Bray to farm. Bray is now a Joy that doesn't really have the damage at all to assassinate everybody. Don't forget, you know, because Diablo was actually put behind by this one Uranus, and now all of a sudden RGPH, they got full control mid, they got full control bot, and RGSG, they cannot contest for anything.
And there was like, what, 2 or 3 from RGSG onto Nat at top lane earlier on. There was nothing that he could do. And now Bray is in trouble. 4v1. Make that 5 in Nat's step, but Bray has the movement speed to get away.
And of course the dash, right? Bray, you know, still managed to get away, but like what I said, there's nothing for the side of RGSG to farm. But let's take a look at the emblems right here.
Yeah, if you look at the emblems, so what's interesting about the new emblems is that if you take a, you can actually, it's actually quite flexible, right? It doesn't necessarily that if you are a fighter, you cannot use an assassin, or even if you are an assassin, you cannot use a mage emblem because of one key point: adaptive attack. So that is something that will be used and will be creatively utilized by the team.
I think in this particular match, Sir Cloud, sorry, I keep calling you Cloudy by mistake. But like, you know, I feel like in this particular patch, it's really flexible. You start to see mages instead for going for the mage emblem. They can actually go for the assassin emblem. The magic pen so valuable for mages such as Buji on the Eve as well, or even the Aqua on the Valentina right now. So as we say this, Diablo is just tickling next. There's nothing to be done right there.
Oh, but there's something to be done in the mid, whereby RGPH happily takes 2, make that 3 kills in the middle. And now Next is just saying hello.
I can't watch this. RSGSG, 3 men down, get busted down by just 1 Aqua shotgun, right? By the first kill of the Valentina. And now RGPH is knocking down RSG's doorsteps. And then RGSG they can't do anything. And, they couldn't scale into the late game. They don't really have this early game rotation. RGBH is just making a full advantage of this, taking full advantage of this, and that advantage was created by 1 pick. Next.
And the inhibitor turret is down, and we're only like 10 minutes into the game.
Not only just that, Circloud, they're also sending down the Lord down, marching mid at the same time. Nats just inching just a little bit. Diablo will try to pick that up. Well, RSGSG does have enough damage to burst. Nats down, that's finally the UN is dealt with. But then again, the Lord finally did clear out. That's also going to be Aqua coming in. The Nonton stolen 1, knocking everybody sky high. RSGSG slowly but surely getting blown up. Emma, 3-hit light wheel sliding onto the core. Ladies and gentlemen, RSGSG needs to try to defend, but unfortunately for RGPH, not enough minutes to clear it out, but the minutes are streaming in.
Yeah, saved by the minions that are not there. So a little bit more time bought by RGSG, but look at the gold gap at this point. It's about 10k gold gap, 28k versus 37k. Items must be a big gap as well.
Yeah, of course. Like you talked about items there, your producer gave you the items to take a look at. Wait, is that ice cream 1 for the side of Oki?
Oh, it is. And okay, I'm just looking for seeing anything unusual. I think it's pretty much straightforward for all these items. But if we just look at the gap of items, it's about a gap of maybe 40% between the 2 of these teams when it comes to the build.
I don't understand percentage, but I understand numbers, right? 3.3k in a favor of Eamon as compared to his counterpart. The Claude totally choked out from any sort of farm.
And at this time as well, if you look at the items that Lucent QT has, he only has like what, only 1 item build, and that's definitely not going to be enough.
Oh, Light goes kidnapping. That's going to be Lucent QT get busted down. Real world motivation laying down by Buji. Finally, Nats still get taken down by Oki, finding the damage finally. But then again, trading 1 row for 1 EXP laner, but RSGPH still has 2 open base against RSGHG. Aqua right here looking for some pickup right there. Unfortunately, won't be able to do anything. RSGPH biding time. They can just go for the Lord in the next 20 seconds.
Yeah, and I guess that's why it doesn't matter that to RSGPH that Lucent QT becomes the first target, because he only has 1 dominance ice and nothing else. So he'll be easily melted down by RSGPH. Hence, he will be the first target, and it will be okay for him despite being a tank.
Yeah. Circle, I feel like looking back at this, RGSG, they do not know what to do right here, right? The plan that they wanted in the early game, they want to play standard, but RGPH says no. I'm gonna force you to be a little bit uncomfortable by covering 2 lanes at the same time. And now, like RGPH, you start to see how they're abusing the fact that RGPH doesn't really have a game plan going into this particular game. And that's also caused that Kuja actually left the roster and now is in Todak, right? So RGSG, this is not a very good showing for the first series of the day.
Yeah, it is a tough game for them. I mean, just look at the turrets. They only managed to get like 1 turret and 1 turtle at the early stage of the game, and that's about it. But I do like the fact that RGPH, despite them having this level of dominance, they're still very disciplined to take the Lord, still to push out the lanes before making this move.
Oh, Diablo gets knocked up. Taunted right here. Demon Kite. Ooh, Diablo gets us down. No way. Ray coming in for the flank at the same time, trying to make something to work. But Aqua does have the Minor with Flurry ready to go. But going ham with the light wheel. Fuji goes into Winter Chunky at the same time. Oki landing down, blazing away, trying to find Knights in the knockout. Aqua delivers the sky high knockout bar onto RGSG. And now RGPH takes down game number 1, and they will take the